So the
We
Chatur,
completed until 10:13, Prabhuji.
yeah, what is the Chatur Shloka Bhagavad Gita? 10, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So Chatur Shloka Bhagavad Gita, everybody needs to understand because that's the basis for a lot of things. I'm recording these sessions and I'm posting them to YouTube. So if you miss any session, you can go there and look it up on my name, Radhika Gopinath Das. And if you have time, you can review them. So let's go to 14. Sarvam etad ritam manyem yanmam vadasi keshavam nahite bhagavan vyaktim vidurdeva nadanavaham. This is also a very pivotal verse, and the reason is it talks about why people don't understand Krishna. So after hearing the various processes of yoga that Lord Krishna describes, Arjuna says, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons. Demigods means devatas, demons means rakshasas. O Lord can understand your personality. So the Supreme Lord is saying that it's not easy to understand him. Sometimes in the material world, it is not easy to understand your spouse only. You may live with your spouse for 15 years, 20 years, but you may still not understand who your spouse is. And in the spiritual topics, understanding Krishna is much more difficult. So to understand Krishna is not a ordinary thing. Okay. So Disha Mataji, can you read this purport?
Sure. Arjuna herein confirms that persons of faithless and demonic nature cannot understand Krishna. He is not known even by the demigods, so what to speak of the so-called scholars of this modern world? By the grace of Supreme Lord, Arjuna has understood the supreme truth is Krishna and that he is the perfect one. One should therefore follow the path of Arjuna. He received the authority of Bhagavad Gita. As described in the 4th chapter, the Parampara system of disciplic succession for the understanding of Bhagavad Gita was lost. Therefore, Krishna established this disciplic succession with Arjuna because he considered Arjuna his intimate friend and a great devotee. Therefore, as stated in our introduction to Gopanishad, Bhagavad Gita should be understood in the Parampara system. When the Parampara system was lost, Arjuna was selected to rejuvenate it. The acceptance of Arjuna of all that Krishna says should be emulated. Then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only can we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So one of the key messages of this particular verse is this parampara system of disciplic succession. Disciplic succession means a guru teaches his disciples, and the disciples practice this over a period of 15, 20, 25, 30 years, and then they in turn become teachers or gurus of this knowledge. So this is called parampara. So our parampara, I was talking last week also on this topic, and I will again talk about it. Our parampara is coming straight from Lord Krishna himself. So it's not like parampara is made by a human being. Parampara comes from Lord Krishna himself. And we can choose to be a part of the parampara in receiving that knowledge and transmitting that knowledge, or we can choose to ignore it, right? like the current situation in the world where we have 51,000 deaths in America today, 38,000 new cases. People don't know. People are getting bewildered. Why is this happening? What did I do wrong that this particular activity is happening? Right? So people are very, very confused. That's because they don't have knowledge from parampara. Like, the CDC chief may say one thing, the infectious diseases chief may say one thing, your local doctor may say one thing, doctors in New York may say one thing. So people don't know who to believe, what to do. Total chaos. I mean, that is in the most intelligent and richest country in the world, America. Why do I say most intelligent? From every country, the cream, like people who studied in top universities, come and study here or work here. For example, Jaypal is from IIT. There are so many people who have studied from big colleges. People who have studied in American colleges. So you have cream of the crop. But despite the cream of the crop, we are in total disaster state right now. There's no understanding of what happened, why it is happening, where will it go, and how to stop it. We have no idea actually. Everybody is giving their own theory, but more and more people are dying every day. So this information, Bhagavad Gita, should be received through the disciplic succession. So a guru teaches his disciple, and the disciple teaches his or her disciple, and this continues. So the first Adi Guru is Krishna himself, right? If you hear any Bharatanatyam songs, the invocation songs, they say, Vande Gurum Sri Krishnam, they say. Although they worship Nataraja, the song itself says Vande Gurum Sri Krishnam. So Krishna is the original person. Again, that is also substantiated in Brahma Samhita. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Adi Purusham, the first person is Krishna. After that, everybody else came. And then somebody may ask, who created Krishna? What is the meaning of first person? First person means there is no creator. He is the creator. And Brahma is also kind of a creator, secondary creator. So his creation potency comes from Krishna. So he creates the material worlds. Krishna creates the spiritual worlds and he lords it over them. He basically enjoys in those spiritual realms. Once in a while, for a fraction of second of his time, he comes down. His fraction of a second could be many years on this earthly planet. And there is a mathematical calculation also, which we talked about last time, before last time, and so on. So Brahma is the material engineer. So he creates the material worlds. So his son is Narada Muni. By the way, so Brahma's age is very long. So the distance between Krishna and us is actually very long. Once we come to the end of the parampara, as where we are closer to now, people say average age is like, longevity is 80 years. But back then, longevity was much higher. I mentioned this in my LinkedIn and people were like, no, how is it possible? Like there is one line in Valmiki Ramayana which says, Maharaj Dasharath ruled for 60,000 years. And they were all like, wow, how can it be possible? Nobody lives that long. So for that, my answer is Dr. Frog philosophy. So a frog in the well thinks that Pacific Ocean is the size of the well. So just because we live in the well doesn't mean that there is no higher things that we don't know about. There are other things that we don't know and we may never know actually. So Narada Muni gives this knowledge to Vyasa, who documents the Mahabharata, Puranas, Vedangas, Vedas, Upanishads. In this way, lot of literature. To read all that literature will take 40 years. If you do it full time, if you do it part time, you'll never finish them. You'll probably first die before we can finish all that literature. So the reason I went there is this parampara system is being emphasized. by Lord Krishna. So what is Arjuna saying? Sarvam etadritam manya. Whatever you say, I now accept Krishna. Until this time, we are in 10th chapter, believe it or not. Until this time, Arjuna had still some doubts. What if, what if, what if, what if? Even after this, he will still ask questions, but not in a challenging mood, but more in a, I want to learn more, right? Like sometimes we have people come to the temple, they say, oh, why are you worshipping these stones? After 4, 5, 6 years, they will say, oh, Prabhuji, how are you? Yeah, Krishna is so great, he's so merciful. So from that point to this point, what happened? Slowly change of heart happened. Hearts can change this way or that way. Yeah. So we have to be careful about what we say without knowledge. Otherwise, people will say he's like a frog in the well. Dr. Frog syndrome. Then he said, Nahi te Bhagavan Vyaktim. Oh, you are Bhagavan. And I used to think you are just a ordinary human. Vidur Devana Danava. Nobody will know you. Nobody can know you because you cover yourself with illusory energy. So right now, almost the whole world is in confusion, covered fully in illusory energy. Why? Because people have been sinning for so long, eating meat, drinking alcohol, having illicit sex, gambling. So once in a while, the external energy of the Lord, Durga Devi, will say, okay, now I will tease you a little bit. I will play with you a little bit. So she starts playing, and her playing is not so easy to deal with. We cannot even tolerate this stuff. Now my daughter, she's in University of Washington, second year, and she was doing homework. Professor gave homework, mental health in coronavirus era. So how people are going crazy because of this corona, right? So don't think everybody is sane right now. People are losing their mind. People are going crazy. There are only 7 people on this call who want to be continue to remain intelligent. That's why we are doing this. Because if we don't do this, a little bit of Bhagavad Gita, we'll also go crazy. Because all you hear in the news is this fellow is dying, that fellow is dying. Oh, by the way, my wife was saying that one of her far away relatives, they traveled from India to visit their daughter. And then, it's a fashion to go to New York City, right? So they went to New York City just about the time when this corona was kicking. And something went wrong. They went to the hospital. The doctor said, admit. After that, they said, we don't know what happened to these 2 people, wife and husband. And after putting a lot of influence, going to CDC, making many phone calls, they found out that both of them passed away and their bodies are in refrigerated trucks somewhere. Nobody knows where they are, right? Because all these people are being buried. Samuhika burial means normally one person is buried in one grave. So they're putting everybody in a big ditch and covering them with mud. That's it. This is what they do in wartime, right? In wartime, so many people will die. Actually, I have a picture of not the war, but when India and Pakistan separated, so many people got killed. You remember that? At least I remember that. So Srila Prabhupada said, I didn't know who is Hindu, who is Muslim. Everybody looked the same to me. And everybody died. So I'm a historian, so I keep all these historical artifacts with me saved so that when time comes, I can display them. So what do? They just put them in mass graves and finish them. So when is the time to learn Bhagavad Gita? Before all these things happen. Once bad things happen, you don't have time to do all this stuff, right? You'll be worrying about what will happen to you, all right? So it's not so much about how to learn. You have to learn when everything is in good thing, not when everything is broken. Anyway, I cannot find that picture right now. Some other day. Let's save it for some other day. So parampara, knowledge should come from parampara. If it comes from your high school teacher, then it is not parampara. And if it comes from any politician, it's not parampara. Okay, let's do 10-15. Swayam evatmanatmanam vetatvam purushottamam bhutabhavanam bhuteshu devadeva jagatpate. So now he's calling him Deva Deva Jagatpate, means he is the boss of all the Devatas. How many Devatas are there? There are, how many Devatas are there? Anybody? Nobody knows?
33 crores, Prabhu.
33 crores, yes. So one person is waiting. Okay, that's Rekha. Yeah, 33 crore Devatas are there. 330 million in US language, imperial system. So he is the Deva Deva. He is the Devatas of Devatas. So why worship the Devatas? Directly worship the Supreme Lord Deva Deva. So that's what he's coming to the conclusion. He's saying Sarvadeta Tritam Manye. And now he's saying Deva Deva Jagatpate. Okay, Rekha, if you are settled, can you read this? Purport?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Sorry, my internet went down for a second there.
Oh, no problem. Right now, internet is going down many times during the day. It's become very unstable. So,
Yeah. The
okay.
Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him through the discharge of devotional service, like Arjuna and his followers. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin, and one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from atheistic persons. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vadanti tat tattva vidhas, tattvam yah jnanam advayam, brahmeti paramatmeti, bhagavan iti sadhyate. The supreme truth is realized in three aspects: as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and at last as the supreme personality of Godhead. So at the last stage of understanding the absolute truth, one comes to the supreme personality of Godhead. A common man, or even a liberated man, who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand God's personality. Such men, therefore, may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad Gita, which are being spoken by the person Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagavan, or they accept his authority. Yet, many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottama, the Supreme Person. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottama. Yet, one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Bhuta Bhavana. And if one comes to know him as the father of all the living entities, still one may not know him as the supreme controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as Bhutesa, the supreme controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore, he is addressed herein as Deva Deva, the worshipful god of all demigods. And even if one knows him as the worshipful God of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore, he is addressed as Jagat Pati. Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjuna, and we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as he is.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, it is going on. You can come and join us. 367. The code is 857-526-367. No, you should not be required to put an email and password because meeting has already started. Or you can stay on the phone too if you want to. Yeah, so this is also a very important verse. I mean, every verse in Bhagavad Gita is important, but as we go further and further towards the end of Bhagavad Gita, it becomes more and more intense. Intense in a positive sense. So here there is a description of Jagatpate, Deva Deva Jagatpate, means somebody who is.
Prabhuji, Nitin Prabhu also not able to join.
Yeah, so basically Zoom is also having issues, just like every other piece of software. Internet is having
Okay.
issues too. Because initially you couldn't get in, but you got in finally.
No,
So
but
I don't know
you
what
introduced this waiting room, Prabhuji. So is there anyone in the waiting room?
I
You
just
have to let them
checked.
in?
I just checked. There is nobody. There is nothing in the waiting room.
Oh, okay.
Nobody in the waiting
Okay.
room.
అయితే వేరే డివైస్ నుంచి జాయిన్ కమ్మని సో దట్ ఇట్ sometimes అట్లనే
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes
maybe there is.
different
But
device or
when
just shut
compared
down
to the
very
last
quickly
week, the
device.
code is actually different. Actually, the code is different today. The code is different from the last week. So might be he's trying with the different code. You can just tell.
Okay, could be.
Oh, okay. Let me.
Tell him 857, 526, 367.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's continue. So he is addressed as Jagat Pati. Pati means master. Jagat means world. He is the master of the world. Then he is also addressed as Deva Deva. Means Devatas are worshipable, but he is the worshipable Devata of the Devatas. So Devatas worship their Devata, who is Krishna. So that is a lesson to us that we don't need to worship anybody else. Just worship directly the Supreme Lord. Bhutesha means all the Bhutas. Bhutas means all the living entities. Bhutesha means controller, Isha of all the Bhutas. And Bhuta Bhavana means somebody who is the source of all living entities or the father of all living entities. And Purusha Uttama. So the Sandhi is Purushottama. Purusha plus Uttama, Purushottama. Means he is the Uttama, topmost of all the Purushas. So in this way, we can understand Krishna. There is also this concept of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan. So let's open an Excel file and write down the characteristics. So the Srimad Bhagavatam talks about 3 ways to understand absolute truth. So God is actually a controller, but absolute truth is above God. So there are many devatas, but the absolute truth means Param Satyam. That is Sri Krishna. So let's say Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan. Right? So aspect. Where is Brahman? Some of my senior students know this. Where is Brahman?
Brahmalok.
No.
What is the question, Prabhuji?
Where is Brahman?
Brahman is everywhere.
Everywhere, correct. Where is Paramatma?
In our heart, in our soul.
In our
Who said that?
heart. Vibha.
Viva, very good. Localized in heart. And where is Bhagwan?
In spiritual, in Goloka.
Yeah, so in the spiritual world. Goloka is one part of the spiritual world, the highest part. But he could be in Vaikunta, he could be in any of these thousands of Vaikuntha planets. So spiritual world. Okay. Now characteristic. What is characteristic of Brahman?
Energies.
What is that?
Energies.
Yeah, energy. There is one other characteristic of Brahman.
All pervading.
All pervading. Good. There's one more. In
Peaceful.
huh?
Peace.
No, peaceful is not. I mean, peaceful may be an attribute, but this is like the overall characteristics, right? In every atom, So that's one of the characteristics. Paramatma. What is the characteristic of Paramatma?
Sattva guna.
Actually, Paramatma is in Vishuddha Sattva, above Sattva. Okay, so let's write that. Vishuddha Sattva. Okay, other characteristics? Upadrishta Anumantacha.
Panditji, Panditji, can you
Overseer.
tell
Sorry, go ahead.
what is Visuddha Sattva?
It is pure goodness. The mode of goodness, Sattva Gunam, and there is Vishuddha Sattva, which is pure goodness. He is also the overseer. He oversees every one of us, our activities, and he permits our activities according to our karma. So if somebody doesn't have sufficient positive karma, no matter how hard he tries, he cannot achieve something. Right? It's just not possible because they don't have sufficient positive karma. So this Paramatma, he oversees our activity 24/7 and he permits our activity if we want to do something. Okay. And then Bhagwan is in this spiritual world. And what is his characteristic? One of them somebody mentioned earlier, blissful, cognizant, and eternal. Sat Chit Ananda, right? So I wrote it in opposite sequence. Ananda, Chit, and
Sat.
so I went in the opposite direction. But Sat Chit Ananda is eternal, cognizant, and blissful. What is the other characteristics of Bhagwan? Any other
Is
characteristics?
cause of all causes, is source of everything.
Yeah, so we can write them down. Cause of all causes, source of everything. How about the two things we learned in this verse?
God of all gods.
Yeah. And what else?
Origin of all. That's the source of everything. Okay. So
Supreme Person.
Supreme Personality God here.
Supreme person. And then what about knowledge? All knowing.
All knowing of knowledge.
Yeah.
The knowledge.
All merciful. What else?
Can we say Paramatma is omnipresent or Bhagwan omnipresent?
Yeah, omnipresence comes because he's localized in the heart. This is omnipresence. Even if the Paramatma stage is omnipresent. Here also he is omnipresent because given the fact that he is omnipresent at the Paramatma stage, he is omnipresent here as well. So I'll move that up. All merciful and omnipresent also. Omnipresent. What about all-knowing is also known as omniscience. That's a strong word, but all-knowing is also omniscience.
Omnipowerful.
Omnipotent.
Omnipowerful.
Omnipotent means all-powerful. Okay. And then source of avatars. Avatarena asankhena. So unlimited avatars come from him. What else? He's a teacher. He's a friend. He's a lover.
The Adi Purush. Adi Purush. So
The Adi Purusha is
the
same as
first.
cause of all causes. But yeah, we can write that also. Adi Purusha. Govindam Adi Purusham. Yeah. What else?
Purushottama.
Yeah, that's very good. Purushottama. He is the best of all men. He is
What is
obedient.
Bhuta Bhavana, Prabhuji?
Huh? Bhuta Bhavana means taking
What
care
is
of
Bhuta
people.
Bhavana?
Yeah, taking care of all living entities.
Okay.
Takes care of all living entities.
He is Yogeshwara also.
Yeah, Yogeshwara, very good. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Tatra Partha Dhanurdhara. Yeah, the last verse of Bhagavad Gita is termed as Yogeshwara.
He knows past, present, and future.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Knows past, present, and future. What else?
Digambara. So
No, he's not Digambara. He's different yugas. He comes differently, right? So in one yuga, he is Shvetambara. One yuga is Pitambara. One yuga is Raktambara. Like, so different yugas, his body skin color and dress will change. But that's very technicality, right? And we are talking about high level things. Otherwise, no, we'll have a very long list. Okay, so let's keep this list for now, because as we go through Bhagavad Gita, we will learn more. Three aspects of God. So all three aspects are important. So now let's say religion. Which religion follows which aspect? Okay, Brahman. What are the religions that follow Brahman? Islam, because they don't believe in a personal form. To a certain extent, Buddhism. Any other thoughts? Mayavadam, Brahmavadam. There is a difference between Brahmavadam and Mayavadam. Brahmavadam says Brahman is everything. Mayavadam says I am Brahman. So they flip the argument and they consider themselves to be God. So
are there like subcategories within Hinduism?
Yeah, there are many subcategories within Hinduism. Mayavadam, Brahmavadam, Paramatmavadam, and then Bhagavanvadam. So Paramatma's Vadam is more yogis. They go in that direction.
sannyasis also.
Yeah. So basically, if you look at your question, Rekha Mataji, whether these are all categories of Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism are also categories of Hinduism only. Previously, there was only one religion. All these are offshoots. Of course, they won't accept that. They'll come and cut off our head if we say that. But actually, they are all extensions of the same thing.
Mm.
Because God can be understood through these three aspects, Srimad Bhagavatam says. So everything in the universe has to fit in these three categories. Yogis, sannyasis, some sannyasis I should say, not all of them. There are atheistic sannyasis also.
So what is the difference between yogi and sannyasi? I always thought they are the same.
No. So that's a good point. Let's define those yogis. See, this is like an evolution, right? On the extreme left hand, you have atheism, don't believe in God. Then aham graho pasana, means they think that they themselves are God. Okay. Then you have Mayavadam, where everyone is God. I am God. Atheism is, what is atheism? Anybody know?
Yeah, no God.
No God. Then Brahmavadam. So what do the Brahmavadis say? Brahman is everything.
So
Then
here Brahman, what do they mean? Is it the God Brahma or?
no. God Brahma is a person, right? They are not saying God is a person. They are saying everything is God. Brahman is everything. That's it. There is just the energy of God. Where is God? We don't know. We don't care. That is Brahmavadam. Mayavadam is
What's the difference between everything is God and everyone is God? So in Brahmavadam, they also talk about plants.
they talk about your table is also God. Your computer monitor is also God.
Oh, even non-living things. Okay.
So Brahman, right? Everything is Brahman. Brahma Satyam. Everything is Brahman. And I will merge into Brahman. That's their goal, right? Mayavadam is a adulteration of Brahmavadam, where they say, yeah, everything is Brahman, and I am Brahman, and therefore I am God. And then Aham Grahopasana, it becomes even more serious. No question, I am God. Pray, I worship myself. And then atheism, no God. So then comes Paramatma Vadam. What is Paramatma Vadam? God is in me. It's not like I am God, but God is in me. And then what is next? Bhagavan. So loving seva to Lord. So here's like that. It's an arrow from left to right. So all religions have to fit in one of them. So the sannyasis, some sannyasis are Paramatmavadis, some sannyasis are Brahmavadis, some sannyasis are Mayavadis. So that's why I said some sannyasis. And yogi is not the same as some sannyasis. Why? These Paramatmavadis, these are yogis. They want to see God within their heart. Like one lady was telling me, अपने हृदय में ही भगवान को देखना है. So she's a Paramatmavadi. She doesn't believe in God on the altar in the temple. She says God is hiding in your heart, and that's how you know God. Okay, so Bhagavanvadis, again here you have different slight subtles. Vaishnavas and Shaivas.
And one more thing about I have undoubted. Bhagavan is like everlasting service to the Lord, right? And which means Brahmavadam says even in the non-living things also there is Brahman. But in Bhagavan we say service. But even during the Narasimha Avadaram, they said in all everywhere God is there in the pillar and everything. which means even Bhagwan also says that everywhere God is there, or only Brahmavadam says that?
So no, you are correct. These three are positive people. These three are negative people. So Brahmavadam is the beginning of your awakening. Paramatmavadam is more mature because you are saying God is in the heart in the Paramatma form. I will realize him. And the Bhagavanvadis say, okay, God is everything. So I will go serve him because I am his servant. Here Brahman is everything. Here is Bhagavan is everything. And Brahman is actually an energy of Bhagavan. And Bhagavan takes a little distributed processing, comes and sits in your heart as Paramatma.
Haribol Prabhuji,
Yes.
this the small Excel that you're making, is it any way you can send an image or this file?
You
Or
can take a screenshot.
okay, okay, and also if you can record it, only this information would be nice.
Yeah, I'm recording already. It is recording right now.
Okay, thank you. Please post.
Yeah, I'll post it on my LinkedIn also. So Vaishnavas and Shaivas. Again, there are two little divisions, right? And I'll tell you what the distinction is. So Vaishnavas worship Govinda, the original creator, or Vishnu, or the avatars, like Narsimha Avatara, as one of you was mentioning. I think it was Raj Lakshmi. Shaivas worship Shiva. Some also worship Bhuta, Preta, Ganas. Shiva himself worships Vishnu. So therefore, Shaivas are a subset of Vishnu worshippers, but they are elementary. So eventually they may come and worship Vishnu. So there was this lot of battles during Chola dynasty between Vaishnavas and Shaivas, that we are supreme, we are supreme. That's foolishness. Because ultimately, both parties are worshipping what? The personal form of God, right? Shiva is like a little, less powerful than Vishnu, but ultimately both are personalities and one worships the other. So in the hierarchy, Vishnu is the topmost because of this explanation. So any comments? So that is what is
So
being.
when we are worshipping Vishnu, it is not it's necessary that we have to worship only Vishnu, or we can even worship the Preta Ganas and Bhuta Ganas people,
No.
like a non-living being.
What will you get by worshipping Pretaganas and Bhutaganas? You won't get any positive result.
Not worshipping, like Bhuta is, even you can say crows also, right? Crows and other living beings, like animals.
Yeah,
So if you keep
that
food
is
to the animals and
yeah. So I should add a column because you mentioned that. I should add a column. This is nature worshippers, like the American Indians, right?
yeah.
They worship the crow, they worship the lion, they put a totem pole, right? And not only American Indians, even there are people in the original India where people worship different kinds of living entities. But it depends. Is it independent worship or dependent worship? Right? Some people worship the snake as a extension of, or somebody who is accompanying Lord Shiva. Right? That to a certain extent is still okay. But if you just worship a snake by itself, what can a snake do? Snake is weaker than you. It doesn't have the same talent as you. So what are you going to do with that? Not much.
But since every living being has God inside them, Since
Yeah,
so
that is the
Vishnu
problem,
mentions-
right? Since every living being has God inside them, these ahangropasanas are saying, I am God. But that's the wrong understanding. We should get out of that concept.
Oh, okay. So localized in heart means like even animals do have a heart.
Yeah, it is an
Paramatma,
age-old argument. People have been
Vadam.
arguing for your topic for millions of years. But we will quickly go through it. It is there is Paramatma in the heart of a crow, but doesn't mean that you'll worship the crow. You might as well directly worship the Paramatma itself. That's the point. Direct worship versus indirect worship. Indirect worship does not give you the desired result.
Question about animals. Like, in Hinduism, we pray.
Even
cow.
like tree and even rivers also the same thing, right? All nature. So nature is more
Hold on just a
lesser
minute.
than the God himself. Yeah.
Hold on just a minute. Disha Mataji had a question. Yeah.
So when we pray cow, because cow is like said that in Hinduism, all the gods are inside Gaumata. So we pray cow, and cow is considered sacred. But even then, cow is animal, right? So
Yeah, cow
would
is
cow
special.
and crow come in the same bucket?
No, cow and crow don't come in the same bucket. There are the three modes of material nature, which is chapter 14, right? Mode of goodness. So you have cows and humans. Mode of passion. Ferocious animals like lion and other animals also. Then mode of ignorance. Scorpions, snakes. So you have to be careful. If you worship to the snake as extension of Lord Shiva, it's one thing. Otherwise, snake, you are trying to worship it, will come and bite you because it's in mode of ignorance. It has no concept of any relationship with anyone. Some snakes eat their own eggs. They give eggs and then they eat them. So there is extremely in the mode of ignorance. So yeah, animals are also in different modes. So cow is very special because cow is dear to Krishna, so you worship it. It is said all the devatas reside in the body of the cow. And but of course, what's happening right now, whether in India or America, they just, as soon as it stops giving milk, they'll send it to slaughterhouse to kill it. Even in India.
Like what about like rivers and trees? Because Ganga,
Sorry?
hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, even the river, like Ganga river, means Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that like
The
like
Ganga is very special,
if
right?
you immerse in the Ganga river and you ask for yeah.
Ganga is very special. So Ganga comes from the feet of Lord Krishna, and then because nobody can control her speed, Shiva takes upon himself to tie Ganga in her jata. Jata, that's why they are called Jatadura, Jatajura Hari, or some. There is a name for Shiva because in his jatas or in his hair locks, he ties Ganga. But Ganga is not ordinary. She is from the spiritual world. Same thing with Yamuna. Same thing with Saraswati. These are all special.
Same with certain type of trees also, like fig tree and some certain type of trees also.
Trees to a certain less extent, right? I mean, again, our goal is to understand our relationship with God, not pray to this tree, that tree. That's not going to take you anywhere, right? So otherwise, it will be a slippery slope. Then you will start worshipping one tree, then you have to worship the second tree, and then you will forget that you are a soul, and then you will just stay here. When you worship all these other things, you may get some benefits, and with all those benefits, you will stay in the material world forever. So you actually don't want those benefits. You want only one benefit of going back to Krishna, liberation.
Okay.
So if you worship those, you may stay here longer, which is a bad thing, not a good thing. Okay. Okay, let's get back to our original stream of thought.
Quick addition to that, follow-up question on the same thought process. So definitely worship the God of gods, because that is source of all the energy and source of everything happening on in universe, all life forms, everywhere. But with due respect all other life forms, because certain part of element of God is there in these certain other life forms. Like God has made us as humans, God has also made trees, God has also made plants. So with due respect them and their space.
Yeah, we have to respect
Summarizing
everybody.
in a nutshell.
Yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam says you have to respect even an ant. But how many of us are respecting ants? We just walk over them, right? So we have to respect every living entity. Every living entity, including ants, including bacteria, right? So it's like that. We have to respect every living entity, but that doesn't mean that you worship every living entity. You worship, the word worship is reserved for the Vishnu Tattva. Krishna,
Okay.
Narayana, Vishnu, the word worship. If for everybody else, you should respect.
Okay.
Okay, Vaktum Arhasi
Vaktum arhase
Asheshena
asheshena
Divyahi
divyahi
Atma Vibhutayaha
atma vibhutayaha
Yabhir
yabir
Vibhutibir
vibhutibir
Lokan
logan
Imams
imams
Tvam
tvam
Yapya
vyapya
Tishtasi.
tishtasi.
So now Arjuna is asking a question. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade these worlds. So Vibhuti means opulence, any kind of energy. So now tell me about your energies. Krishna is being asked by Arjuna. Okay, so who wants to read this?
In this, I'll read.
Okay, go ahead.
In this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. By Krishna's grace, Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have, and through all these agencies, he has understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him, there is no doubt, yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all-pervading nature. People in general, and the impersonalists in particular, concern themselves mainly with the all-pervading nature of the Supreme. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all-pervading aspect through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people.
Yeah, so it's not like Arjuna doesn't know the position of Krishna, but he is asking so that other people can benefit, people like us. So all-pervading nature, we talked about this Brahmavadi, right? Impersonalist, God is not a person but just simply energy. So there is a complete spectrum, right? All religions fit into this spectrum. It depends upon what your goal is, right? Atheists have no goal, but Brahmavadis have some goal. The Bhagavanvadis have the best goal because they want to worship the person and then go back and live with him, because God lives in his abode, in his own planet, and we can also go there and live with him. Not right next to him, but on the same planet potentially. Katam vidyam
Gatam vidyam
aham yogims
vidyam
tvam sadam
tvam sada
parichintayan
parichintayan
keshu keshu
keshu keshu
cha bhaveshu
Shabhaveshu
chinto asi
Chintyo Asi
Bhagavan Maya.
Bhagavan Maya.
O Krishna, supreme mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? How shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? So here is the question, right? A lot of times people say, how should I worship God? Maybe I should worship in this form, that form, or potentially even in animal form, like the American Indians. This is a question Arjuna is already asking. Krishna, how should I worship you? Tell me. Okay. So Gopal, can you read this?
Sure, Prabhu. As it is stated in the previous chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is covered by his Yogamaya. Only surrendered souls and devotees can see him. Now Arjuna is convinced that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. But he wants to know the general process by which all-pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. Common men, including demons and atheists, cannot know Krishna because he is guarded by his Yogamaya energy. Again, these questions are asked by Arjuna for their benefit. The superior devotee is concerned not only for his own understanding, but for understanding of all mankind. So Arjuna, out of his mercy, because he is Vaishnava, a devotee, is opening for the common man the understanding of all pervasiveness of Supreme Lord. He addresses Krishna specifically as Yogin because Sri Krishna is the master of Yogamaya energy, by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. Arjuna is considering the mode of thinking of materialistic persons of this world. The words Keshu, Keshu, Cha, Bhaveshu refer to material nature. The word Bhava means physical things. Because the materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they are advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representations.
Yeah. So this is our position. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Once in a while we think, but to think always is a big challenge. Means we don't have love for Krishna, at least to the degree that is expected. Therefore, we have to think materially. Therefore, we have careers, we have so many other avocations. Once in a while Krishna too, but mostly we are in all these other things. But at least we are better than the atheist, but that should not be a consolation, right? We should come to the point of always thinking of Krishna. Man mana bhav mad bhakto. Means within our heart of hearts, we should always think of Krishna, become his devotee, pay obeisances to him, and finally come back to him. That's what Krishna says. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Namaskuru means worship me. Namaskaram chay. Mam evasi satyam te means I will give you the required intelligence and knowledge. Pratijani priyosi me. So Arjuna, you do this. He's saying always think of me. And if you do that, then we are in his books, good books. Otherwise, we are there somewhere, but not necessarily in the top of the list. And Yogamaya energy, what happens? Because of the Yogamaya energy, he's covered and uncovered. Sometimes he is covered, sometimes he is uncovered. But because of Yogamaya energy, we cannot understand Krishna. She will arrange that we get confused. She will not let the secret come out. Right? So you have to understand how all these energies are working. One energy is actually preventing us from going to Krishna. So we have to, with determination, overcome that energy and then understand the position of Krishna.
Prabhuji, one thing, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Mataji asked that we can respect everybody, but what is the difference to respect Krishna and something others? Like she asked, right?
Mhm.
Like in the 6th chapter, it is there that yoginam abhisarvesham madgate nantaratmanaha saddavan bhajate yomam. So bhajate is like to faithfully to serving Krishna. That word we'll use for Krishna, to faithfully to serve Krishna. And other people we worship. That is for demigods and all other who are in the worth position. We can respect them. That is worship. Krishna means we should always use bhajate, not like worship.
No, so
like
bhajate is loosely translated in English as worship. So
yeah,
we
but
do
it's
bhajan
not.
or worship for Krishna and respect for everybody else, including demigods, devatas, and a common ant crawling on the road. You have to respect everyone.
Yeah,
But bhajan,
yeah.
Srila Prabhupada says in the purport also, bhajan is exclusively
For the Supreme.
for the Supreme Lord. Yes.
Yeah.
Very good point.
That is not the correct meaning for in English, that worship, but we don't have other word. That's what we'll use.
Yeah, English is an imprecise language. So what can we do? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, because of English, we
sometimes,
are able to talk to each other, right? Otherwise, people maybe from different parts of India, you cannot understand each other. Because of English,
uh,
we able to understand.
sometimes we do bhajans for the Supreme Lord, but we surrender to the Supreme Lord. In case we surrender to some other persons instead of the Supreme Lord, like for husband or friend or mother, then we won't be into the liberation path, right? So,
Yeah,
like,
so
how do you define?
that's a very good question. Let's debate on that one a little bit. Let me go back to my Excel. So, surrender to a result. If you surrender to family members, rebirth, you'll take birth again. More likely in the same family. So grandfather becomes grandson, like that. To bhutas and pretas, then you go to bhuvar loka, where bhutas are there. Then if you surrender to demigods, which are devatas, then you go to deva loka or swarga loka. Forefathers. Then,
Question here. This is Disha again.
yeah.
Why would you surrender to another human being when you know your journey of life begins in knowing and, knowing more and going towards the supreme, going towards salvation basically, right? You need to know what is next and you need to know where you will find peace. So where comes the surrender over here to another human form of life or another life living being? In the process of living, you come through people, you meet friends, you meet your mother. You have to do your duty and move on towards your goal of life.
Yeah, that's a
Not
very
get
point.
distracted with everything else that goes on.
Yeah, that is true. But all the working people on this call, we are all partially surrendered to our bosses because they control our paycheck. That's the reality. Whether we like it or not, we are all surrendered to our boss. Even if the boss says nonsense, he says, yes, this is very good. Yeah, let's do it. We know it is nonsense. But why do we say that? Because displeasing the boss has other consequences.
When you can't work with them, work around them, but your goal, that cannot
That's what
be.
we are doing, right? That's what we are doing. What we do is we pretend to, go with them, but actually we are not going with them, right? As soon as we have the Bhagavad Gita opportunity, we come here. So we just pretend to do something for the material world, but our focus is somewhere else.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, one another example I came across is some of the followers of Sadhguru, where they gave up the family and they surrendered to him.
Yeah, so there are people like that. So there are enough foolish people in the world who will do different things.
To the online sensation Sadhguru, that guy with the big beard and everything.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
He says you
Yes.
don't need to read Bhagavad Gita. He said, I never read Bhagavad Gita. You don't need to read Bhagavad Gita. That's what he said. And in one lecture, he says Krishna achieved liberation. So if, if Krishna is the goal of liberation, his concepts are very confused.
Everyone to their own. That's it. Respect everybody. That's their goal
Yeah.
of life.
Just the bodily yoga, and that's what I understood. Yoga, and they don't believe in any particular god.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, what can we do? I mean, there are people, because there is a book that Keshavananda Prabhu wrote, Cheaters and Cheated. So if you want to be cheated, somebody will cheat you.
Yeah.
Right?
See, I think so that shloka comes more clearly right now when you said that there is Maya. So there is always illusion of something else.
Correct.
Because if you have to walk on the path of knowing God, it's a hard path. And achieving salvation is even harder. But that's the reason why there is illusions in the middle. Like, oh yeah, there's a shortcut up there. But that shortcut is Maya, what is, taking you off path. Okay.
It is like swimming uphill. So the lazy fellow will swim downhill. So he'll keep on going down and down towards Pacific Ocean. The intelligent person will swim uphill, even though it is tough, because he wants to get away from the ocean, right? So, yeah, I mean, but there are enough fools in this world. That's the challenge, right? Like one of my office colleagues was very convinced. He said, yeah, we all came from monkeys. And I'm saying, how can you come from monkey? You are very different than a monkey. No, but we became different along the way. So what can we do? There are people like that. Some people do it because it is fun, right? They want to argue. It's called Vitanda Vadana. Means if you say X, they'll say, no, X is wrong. It has to be Y. They take pleasure in that. So all kinds of people in the world.
At least for the monkeys, the theory is about how the genes evolution, right?
Yeah, but even that is not proven fact. It is a theory. It is not proven. Even Charles Darwin himself said that this is a theory. There are so many missing links, and I have not been able to conclude it. And then he died. So, and then other people said, no. What happened was Mendel, George Mendel, developed this theory of genes, where genes go through natural selection. So what they did was they took the Mendel's theory and merged it with Darwin's theory, and they said, yeah. So because genes can self-select them, that's how the animal genes became human genes, and now we are all human like that. It's not like we still have monkeys, we still have single-celled amoeba. It's not like everybody evolved into humans. They should only be humans, right? If why did they not evolve? There's so many arguments like that. But our goal is not to get into that debate. Our goal is understand Krishna to be our original father and go back to him. That's it. Because you cannot keep on arguing with people. So when you're swimming uphill, it will be tough, but the prize is there at the top of the hill.
So when you cannot argue with people, respect their thought process, everybody to their own.
Yeah, there's a word for that in Sanskrit. It's called, anybody know? Jaipal, you know?
What is it, Prabhuji? I missed it.
Vitandavadam.
No, Vitandavadam is there. That is argumentative. Yatamat tatapat. So
what is that?
My direction is, I will follow that path. Yatamat tatapat.
Yata mat tata pat.
Pat means rasta. Mat
Go with the
Okay.
flow. Going with the flow, you mean?
No, it's not going with the flow. Whatever you want to believe, you believe.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. There is a yes. Yes. You try to look for what you believe,
Yeah.
even when you're listening anything.
Correct.
Your mind is biased to look for what you're interested in.
Yeah. Once Rompal Swami, who used to come here a long time ago, he said he was talking to someone for an hour and all that. And so Maharaj talked about soul, Krishna, there's that. In the end, the person said, yes, I agree with everything you said. We should all be very nice and friendly to each other. So Maharaj said, this is not what I said, but that is what he heard. Because he has a filter. Right? So our filters will remove the message. So we have to be very careful.
I'm going to use it next time on my spouse. Yatamat tasapat. Simple as that.
Right. So each one of us, even in the 7 people on this call, right? Each one of us has our own filter. So what I'm saying is coming into your heart slightly differently. But at least good news is we are all in the same path. Our path is the same. Right? For example, Srimad Bhagavatam, 2 people hear the same thing, right? One thinks, yeah, Krishna, very good. We have to pray to him and then go to office, work, make money, live happily with family. The other person will say, oh my God, Krishna is our eternal father for me and for my family members. So all of us should pray to Krishna and get liberated. So same line will appeal to 2 different people in a different ways. Right? Our responsibility as parents is we have to take our kids also with us in liberation, not just I'm going alone. Whereas other people will say, my goal is just to give my kids Harvard education, robotics education, and I'll go back to Godhead. That's what's happening in our temple, unfortunately. If I say it loudly, people will beat me up. But the parents want to be good devotees. For kids, they want them to be either doctors or engineers or MIT or Harvard, like that. Not one, many cases I've seen. They want to send their kids to top colleges so that they can become good, successful materially. But they want to do spiritual activity. So there is some dichotomy there.
But how is that possible? That's being hypocrite. Like, don't the kids see what their parents are doing? Aren't they learning from the actions? It's not like
it is a challenge, right? Like, there was this destination imagination competition. And 30 of our temple parents took their kids to that competition. When it was a very important day in the temple, nobody was there. Like it was the birthday of one of the Acharya or something. So instead of destination Krishna, they went to destination imagination. And they will imagine some nonsense and forget Krishna. So don't think this is an easy process. Like now we have 7 people join. I mean, there are more people on some lines. So total of 10 people. Out of 10 people, if one of them goes back to Godhead, I'll be happy. Because we have our own, baggage from millions of lifetimes. That baggage is stopping us from going forward, actually. We have so much baggage. Right? Suppose if you have 5 bags and you want to fly, you're checking 2 bags. With the 3 bags, you are going to the gate. The gate agent says, no, I have to check 1 more bag because too big. It won't fit in overhead bin. So if you have too much bag, travel is a hassle. Same thing. We have too much baggage here.
But none of the baggage is going to be with you in the last time of your, last few breaths of your life.
No, actually,
it's going to be you yourself.
Right. This is what I was talking to my daughter. She's 20 years old, so she's fairly familiar with the philosophy and everything. So we were talking how all these rich guys in New York, each one of them has millions of dollars in their bank. Corona came and within 2 weeks, they all got wiped out. Large number of bodies are in refrigerated trucks in New York. Government doesn't know what to do with them. Their kids didn't come to claim the bodies because everybody's afraid of getting out. So they are digging big trenches, putting all the bodies and covering with Samhika Samadhi, like that. So, yeah, all these people are, I mean, somebody was saying, I mean, this is not a devotee, like some New York Times columnist. The good thing about corona is it doesn't discriminate. Typhoid usually attacked poor people, people without nutrition. Cholera attacked poor people. Good thing about corona, it doesn't discriminate. Rich or poor, when it wants to wipe out, it just wipes out. Right? So now, okay, you have accumulated so much, but what's going to happen? If it's not corona, the pattern has started, right? SARS, MERS, various diseases, every 5-10 years, something will come. And certain section of the population will get wiped out. So, yeah, that's foolishness, but people like to be foolish. Cheaters and the cheated. Like, for example, when I started this, one new lady joined this call. Once I started talking little harshly, she dropped off. Where is she? She's gone. She couldn't take it. But reality is what it is. Death is happening every day around us. Okay. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim ja janardhana bhuyah kataya triptirhi Srinvato Nasti me Amritam O Jana Ardhana. Ardhana means somebody who's taking care of Janas, people. Please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated, been satisfied in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. So the sign that somebody is making progress in devotion is they want to hear more and more Krishna Katha, right? Like after this class, you will rest, wake up in the morning, go to YouTube, listen to a lecture. Hearing. I want to know more and more about my beloved Krishna, like that. So that is the sign. Okay. Jaipal, please read.
Okay, Prabhuji. One. A similar statement was made to Sutta Goswami by rishis of Naimisharanya, headed by Sanuka. Shaunuka statement is Vayam tu na vitripyayama uttama sloka vikrame yach chinvratam rasajnanam swadu pade pade.
It's Swadu.
One can never be
Swadu.
Pade pade.
Yeah, you know the papad maker in India store, it's called Swad. Swad means taste. So Swadu pade pade means when you get the rasa jnanam, means the knowledge of Krishna's rasa, then you want to taste it again and again. Okay, read.
Yeah, one can never be satisfied even though one continuously satiated. Yeah. One can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. Those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna relish at every step the descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.19. Thus, Arjuna is interested in hearing about Krishna and specifically how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord. Now, as far as Amritam, nectar, is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar. And this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. In that, one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. It is for this reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with references to the pastimes of the incarnation of Godhead. The Puranas are histories of bygone ages that relate the pastimes of the various incarnations of the Lord. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh despite repeated readings.
Okay. So we got one more characteristic of the Lord, all pervading. Did we have that before? I don't think so.
Yes, Prabhu.
We have it?
We had that. Yes.
You wrote all pervading for Brahman.
Yeah, he's all pervading here also. Yeah. Okay. That's a good catch. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Antate Kasasyami
Antate
Katayasyami.
Katayasyami
Divya Hiyat Vibhutayah
Divya Hiyatma Vibhudaya
Pradhanayatah Kurushreshta
Pradhanyatah Shrestha
Nasti Anto Vistarasya Me.
Nastya Anto Vistarasya Me.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna said, "Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. For my opulence is limitless." He's saying, I'll only tell you a few things. Arjuna asked, what are your opulences, Vibhuti? He says, I'll tell you a salient points, key points. Rest is all hidden because he has unlimited. So the other characteristics is limitless opulence. Okay, who wants to read this?
It is not possible. It is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. Still, the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. Thus, the devotees enjoy them. In discussing Krishna's opulences and his divine energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. The word pradhanyatah, principle, is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of the Supreme Lord, for his features are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all, and Vibhuti is, as used in the verse, refers to the opulences by which he controls the whole manifestation. In the Amara Kosha, dictionary, it is stated that vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence.
Yeah. So there are different vibhutis, but only the pradhan vibhutis are mentioned. Pradhanyataha means principal. Just like we say pradhan mantri. Pradhan means main. So Krishna is only giving his pradhan or pradhanyataha characteristics, which we will discuss next time. But yeah, continue reading this.
The impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord, nor the manifestations of his divine energies. Both in the material world and in the spiritual world, his energies are distributed in every variety of manifestation. Now, Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man. Thus, part of his variegated energy is described in this way.
So what is the meaning of variegated energy?
Is it like different types of energy?
Yeah, correct. Different types of energy. So very good. I'm glad you know the meaning of it, because many people get confused what that word means. So he has variegated energy. So he has different types of energy. Yeah. So Pradhanyata, principle, vibhuti, which is opulence, and variegated energy. These are the three concepts from this verse. And he is manifesting his divine energies, right? So there is a difference between material energy and divine energy. He also has material energy, which comes in form of Durga Devi to this material world. But from time to time, he will display his special divine energy. Daiva. Daiva means divine. Asura means demoniac. So, Daivahi Yeshi Gunamayi means this divine energy of mine is difficult to overcome, he says. Mama Maya Duratyaya. This Maya of mine is very difficult to overcome. Mamevaisisi Satyamte means people who take shelter of me. What is that? After that, Jepal? No. Devi Esha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Durataya, Mamevaisisi Satyamte. No, I forget the last line. The last line says that it becomes very easy for anybody to cross. This divine energy, it becomes very easy to cross. Why? Because you are aligned with the energy. Suppose if you are aligned against the energy, it's very difficult to cross. And most of us are actually aligned against the energy, right? Krishna says do X, we do Y. So we are actually pushing ourselves away from Krishna by following other things, right? Other things could be as silly as, like, two girls were once sitting, small girls, 7, 8 years old, and saying, one girl was asking the other girl, how do you kill time? Right? Is time to be killed? Time is to be saved. But people, come up with all these different things, like all these Chinese checker games and carom board and cricket, all these were invented to kill time. But time is not to be killed. Time is to be used. If we waste it, it will never come back. Okay. Any thoughts before we chant?